Let's start with Sunday's NFL scores. The Jets lose to the Patriots. The mighty, mighty.
Yeah.
25-22. Aaron Rodgers is blaming the media now, I think. So we'll find out who he blames next week when the Jets lose again, because it's never his fault.
Right.
The Falcons are your leaders in the NFC South. They get the win over the Buccaneers 31-26. The Lions destroy the Titans 52-14, and it wasn't as close as that score might indicate. It was even more of a blowout, man. The Browns with the huge upset over the Ravens 29-24. Jameis Winston, I saw a tweet. It was like it's like he's been rehearsing monologues from inspirational movies or something like that, the way he's talking. So he's like just on another level right now, and crushing it. So Tyler, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but your Eagles get a win over the Bengals 37-17, and you almost scored in the first quarter for the first time. You got close. You were in the red zone.
I
might happen.
It's 9 games, but I'll give it to them. The Bengals had the ball pretty much the whole entire quarter. We had like 2 minutes left, so I'll let that one slide.
yeah, almost. The Packers beat the Jaguars 30-27. That one was really close. Love went down in that game too, and so it was Malik Willis leading the way there for most of it. The Texans survive against the Colts 23-20. That was another pretty wild one. The Colts almost had a pick six to go ahead, but then it was reviewed and he was ruled down by contact. They couldn't score. Man.
It was also weird that Anthony Richardson left the game because he was tired.
Yeah, he pulled himself out for a minute because he needed a breath or whatever.
That's the craziest thing. Can you imagine being his O lineman and you played the whole entire game and at the end there, right?
I would light his ass up in the locker room, man.
But like Anthony Richardson comes up to you, goes, "All right, guys, I need everything you can give me right now because we have a chance to win this game." As an O lineman, I'd be looking at you like you were fucking crazy.
Yeah, I heard. I watched Pat McAfee show, a clip from his commentary on that, being the former Colt, and that's he said it with quite a different verbiage. Let's say,
right. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's a good look with your teammates, to catch your breath.
He's under 50% completion percentage as well too.
Yeah.
So like this looks like a disaster in the making.
Right.
The Cardinals get the win over the Dolphins, even with Tua back, 28-27. So I mean, my preseason pick of the Cardinals being a playoff team, they're 4-4 right now. They're right in the mix. I'm close, man. Like I think I saw something. The Chargers get the win over the Saints 26-8. I don't know what you can say about that one. The Bills all over the Seahawks 31-10. Love that for me.
That they were over them so much that the Seahawks players were fighting each other on the sideline.
Started kicking each other's ass.
Yeah. The Broncos beat the Panthers 28-14. The Commanders get the win in the last second of 50-something yard Hail Mary over the Bears 18-15. This was all over social media. Like, you had the Bears defensive back, kind of taunting the fans as the play starts. And he's like, "Oh crap, I got to go over there and try to knock it down." He ends up knocking it back, and it goes right into the hands of Noah Brown for the tug in the end zone and walk off. And that game, that Jalen Daniels throw, that actually saved his fantasy day. And I played Sam this week, and without that, I only beat Sam by like 0.8 of a point. With it ended up being like 11. But like that one play was worth 10 points and change. Really made it a little bit more breathing room for me. So your boy,
I watched that live, and I was like, "Oh, cool! My Eagles get to be tied for first." Nope. Thanks.
Never mind. That was quite the play. And the Chiefs end up beating the Raiders 27-20 in that's the end of the main slate. For the special games, the Vikings lose to the Rams 30-20. That's 2 in a row they've lost. And the Niners beat the Fraud Boys 30-24 on Sunday Night Football. Right now, the Steelers and the Giants are playing, and it is 6-3. Steelers are on top right now. We got about 2 minutes and change left in the first quarter. So there is your football lineup right there. Those are your scores. Let's dive into some of our games. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so like you were alluding earlier, we have not scored in the first quarter. The last time we did that was week 17 of last year, and it was a touchdown throw to Julio Jones. That's the last time we scored in the first quarter. So it's fine. I think end result is what really matters, right? I don't care if you don't score in the first quarter, as long as you're the team that's up at the end of the fourth quarter, right? So I do want to say that Quinyon Mitchell, I have no idea how he fell to us in the draft. This kid is an absolute stud. He locked down Jamar Chase. He had 2 targets against him, only 1 catch allowed for 13 yards, 0 touchdowns. He has not given up a single touchdown all season long. So that rookie is getting it done. And then Cooper DeJean with the big tackle to get Jamar Chase behind the line of scrimmage there for a loss there, sealed the game for us there. So rookie stepped up in a big way. Jalen Hurts looked good, 4 touchdowns. Can't complain. On to next week. I'm excited for it.
Right on. Sam, you want to go on? You want to get rip the Band-Aid off, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, for me, they lost. You know, they didn't deserve to really win the game. The first half, they were kind of going back and forth. It was, going into the game, I'm thinking this could be over by the end of the first quarter by halftime. We knew kind of like all the drama coming into the game. This rookie making fun of Patrick Mahomes with a Kermit the Frog puppet, and stoking the Super Bowl MVP. and that's Patrick Mahomes saying we'll handle it when it gets handled. Blah blah blah. The Raiders played all right. The first half, where the game obviously went south was they get the interception. You tip the ball, you get an interception, you're going to potentially score in defense, and you get the ball on like the 2-yard line. And you go 3 straight running plays, 4 straight running plays, or Minshew gets sacked on 4th down. You can't get the touchdown. The Chiefs get the ball back. They go down the field, score a touchdown. I mean, you could have tied the game, went up. Be competitive. You gave the ball away, and then the turnover late in the game. How deflating that your offense can't get it over the goal line. Defensively, it's a gut punch. That's deflating. So I think I've said this earlier in the year that the team could be better and be record-wise be worse. I think Antonio Pierce has the opportunity to be a good head coach, but the offensive coordinator is terrible. They don't have a quarterback. So I just don't think they have a lot of options, and you let go. They clearly want to run the ball, and you can't run the ball, and your replacement for Pro Bowl running back Josh Jacobs is Zamir White. And I know Zamir White shows all the physical tools, but clearly he's not the guy. So I think they need to do a lot on offense. If I'm the Raiders, I'm moving off of Luke Getsy like today. It ain't working. They don't look prepared. And I think it's also kind of hard to judge the defense because they're out there so much. Coming into this game, the Raiders were a top 2, top 3 defense on 3rd down conversion rate. They were doing really well on stopping 3rd down plays. That changed yesterday. Patrick Mahomes went off. I think they were like 11 for 15 or something crazy. But it's hard to judge the defense because they're on the field so much and they're giving the opponent's offense so much room. But I mean, you're looking at potentially a number 1 pick, and hopefully that number 1 pick somehow the Raiders end up with Cam Ward, because this season's gone. It's
not
gone.
gonna be. I hate to break it to you, as much as I would like it to be Cam Ward for you as well. It's not. I feel like it's not gonna be Cam Ward, and I am not happy about the fire or the smoke, I should say, with the Shadir potentially being a Raider here with you. I don't think you like it. I'm not a big fan of him as a quarterback. I think he's a project still. There's a lot to.
But if I'm the general manager, if I'm the Raiders, I'm not taking Shadur Sanders. I'm not taking him. I think he's too much of a project. I'm worried about him in the NFL and just kind of the attitude things. And to me, Cam Ward processes the game so well. I think he can run an offense right now. I think he's a complete Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony Richardson runs the ball better. But Cam Ward is a much better passer, and he's polished. He makes all the throws, and he can command the offense. I think he's going to be the number one pick. And if you don't got the number one pick, you're not going to get him. I think he's going to be the consensus number one.
Yeah. All right. And so then it's my turn now, I guess, huh? We got yeah. Oh, I see what happened there. Okay. So the Niners get the win on Sunday Night Football again over the Cowboys again. And I'm very, very happy about the result again. The third quarter was huge, 17 points in the third quarter. And that kind of put the game just far enough away. Like Dallas had a little bit of a chance at the end there. They did make it interesting. They did make me a little nervous there in the fourth, but in the end, a W is a W. That's great. It was on National Tight End Day as well. I love that. George Kittle got into the end zone. Speaking of which, this is the 5th annual National Tight Ends Day, a day that George Kittle invented. And we had a record 177 catches by tight ends, and 13 different tight ends had a touchdown, 17 total touchdowns. So it's the biggest tight end day in the history of tight end days. And
did you hear the interview with George Kittle after the game where he was saying my holiday?
My holiday. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, he earned it. That's him. He absolutely has the right to call it my holiday. But I guess the one thing that irked me the most didn't even happen during the game. It was after the game when Isaac Guerendo and Brock Purdy are getting interviewed by the NBC team, and then Nick Bosa, like the man boy that he is, decides to put on a gaudy ass MAGA hat and jump in real quick, and then and then just dip out and basically ruin like Isaac Guerendo's not gonna probably get interviewed again by NBC. He's a guy. He had a really good game, but like Christian McCaffrey's on his way back. Jordan Mason's ahead of him on the depth chart too. So like this was Isaac's chance, and he kind of ruined that. And obviously everybody who watches this knows where I stand. I am not cool with MAGA at all. There's a reason why I never have owned any Nick Bosa merch and never will. But that being said, this is not what a leader does. He kind of inserted himself into the middle of a situation just to like make a quick political statement, and then when asked about it in the post game, he's like, "Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it." It's just he's picking and choosing his moment to be a fucking jackass, and it pisses me off too much. Like that's not what a leader does. You know, if you're a leader of the team, you're gonna let your guys get their. Let him
have his moment.
Yeah. I mean, Isaac Guerendo, nice story. He's a rookie. He has a little bit of talent, but he's third on the depth chart, and he just happened to get his chance because of 2 injuries ahead of him. And you ruined that guy's moment. Brock Purdy is, he ended up having a pretty damn good game. Sam's fantasy, stat line can tell you that. Like, he made it close. But that was not captain behavior. In the end, that's not captain behavior, and it really pissed me off. Like it pissed me off that it was MAGA stuff. I knew it was gonna be when it was Nick Bosa doing it. I mean, so that's kind of like off the table. I already know that that's what it is when he does anything like this. It just really rubbed me even more so the wrong way. And it's and if it was somebody else like doing it like wearing a Kamala hat, but nobody does the Harris Walls hats. They're not really doing it that much anyway. So not to the extent that the other side is. But anyway, that would have pissed me off too if it was the other way around, because you're taking attention away from somebody having their moment. And I mean, I've been pissed off about shit like that since Kanye did it to Taylor in 2009. Like that's the kind of attitude, attention seeking stuff, taking away somebody else's moment, that really just pisses me off. So
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
My personal thing is, I don't want politics. I don't want too much politics in the sporting events anyway. Like it's one of the few things I just want to be distracted by what's going on the grass, and if Nick Bosa or Colin Kaepernick or whoever, whatever side you're on, and if you want to talk about these things on your podcast, on your whatever it is, on your own time, Max Crosby and Gardner Minshew, there's these photos that went around that they met up at dinner with Donald Trump. Like, I don't give a shit. That's on their time. It's not like they were, in the Raiders press box shaking hands with them and, or advertising their political things on the field.
Right.
So I feel like left, right, center. I would appreciate that there's minimal politics, because I feel like I want to be united with my fellow fans.
Right.
Whatever team I support. And then I also want to be like, I like the competitiveness between fans where it's about your team. But then when we add this extra, that's where like you start to like hate things and people. And I don't really have hatred for sports fans. I dislike their team. I dislike that I lost to that team, and I want my team, but I don't hate you. But it's whatever side, when we inject these personal beliefs, it brings out the negative. I think it just exasperates the moment. So I agree with you, Vince, but it needs to be uniform.
Right.
And that I just want to watch the game. I just want to watch the game.
If Nick Bosa ends up getting like punished in some sort of way for it, then okay, fine, that's cool or whatever. I think about when Colin Kaepernick was taking it. You brought him up, like how fucking like just how much vitriol and hate he ended up getting for that stuff, and that was a political thing too, in the end. And he was, I mean, we talked about it before. He was just trying to find a more respectful way than just sitting on his hands during the anthem. And so that's where he talked to the veteran and came up with the knee. But it ended up being a political thing. It ended up being a sideshow. It ended up being a distraction. And it injected a whole lot of vitriol into into the discussion. And that sucks. And I don't think Nick Bosa is going to see the same consequences that Colin did in the end. People are going. I'm shitting on him for it right today, and I'll probably I've kind of been shitting. We've been shitting on him, calling him Confederate Bosa for as long as we've had the pod, right?
Sure.
But that's not that's fucking nothing. That's a drop in the bucket, Like people were like calling in death threats to Colin Kaepernick and shit like that. So I already know it's not going to be even in the end. But whatever. I think we need to move on.
Sure.
I've said my piece. Yeah. So how about them fraud boys, right? Just one more note in football. The Chiefs ended up getting DeAndre Hopkins before the game this week. That happened on Wednesday. So they added to the wide receiver core. Because they keep
Chiefs
losing.
He didn't play this week, but they added what's his name from New England? Uche?
Oh yeah, Uche.
Yeah.
The rusher.
Yeah.
It's not confirmed yet, but I also wouldn't be shocked if we find out in the next 24 hours that Stephon Diggs tore his ACL. By the way, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's going to be
sucks.
extra rough. They still don't have Nico Collins either, although he's on his way back and could be playing by.
So I had Stephon Diggs and Christian McCaffrey on my fantasy football team. So
Oh man. Yeah.
wait, you had somebody else too, right? That was hurt. It was just like
basically,
again.
like my first like 3 or 4 or 5 draft picks have all been injured. So
That's
your
why
boy,
he's
your boy's feeling real good right now.
That's why he's going to be dead last when come tomorrow morning.
But what's crazy is in the fantasy league, there's some games like I just didn't have a chance because there was just they were out, during the game. That's been the thing is like I have players going out during the game, so I don't even have.
They're not. Yeah. You're just stuck with the 2 points they gave you before you got hurt.
Exactly. But even within that, I'm still like, if I just had one of them, like I'm some games. So it's not like I got a terrible team. It's just they're all injured. I got a roster of Pro Bowlers, but they're all injured. They're tired. They're tired.
I will say you also had the second highest fantasy score going into tonight's Monday night game.
So.
And this one's not shaping up to give anybody a major boost either. So,
No.
So, unfortunately, you were playing the guy with the number 1 scoring team.
Exactly.
Boy.